Morning. My name is Valeria Camaño. I am a member of this congregation and your worship associate today. On behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, Director of Religious Education Lexi Brown, our music director Alex Peach, the greeters, and the dedicated technical team that are making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with the mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, all are welcome here. Welcome to all of you that are joining us remotely. For any visitors who are here with us for the first time, and if you are comfortable doing so, would you please stand and tell us your name and where you are from so that we can get to know you better? Are there any visitors on my left? Anybody on my right? Cool. So for some announcements, the young adult group is sponsoring a toy drive for the North Fulton Community Charities Toyland Shop. There will be a box in the fellowship hall this Sunday and next. While we will accept any new unwrapped toys, we will be focusing specifically on gifts for children ages 14 and up. Please see Rachel Osborne, right there, after the service in the fellowship hall next to the donation box for any information. Sign up for the holiday pageant has begun. It will take place as the service on December 22nd. Please see Lexi Brown if you are interested in participating in a new, never-been-told holiday story with love at the center. All ages are welcome, on stage and behind the scenes. The technical team is looking for dedicated volunteers. Please see any team member for more information after the service. And North Fulton Community Charities has openings for part-time contract English as a second language teachers to teach morning or evening classes. No foreign language skills are required, and training and support is provided. This is a great opportunity to help adult students gain confidence and skills and supplement your income. Please see Reverend Dave for more information. Also, please stay for the holiday party immediately after the service. And now, let us greet one another in the hand.
Sing and rejoice, let all things living now sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, let all things living now sing and rejoice, 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 let everything living sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, let everything rejoice, let everything living sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, let all things living now sing and rejoice.
Author and life coach Jay Fields writes, "The thing to remember with support is that true support always brings you back to your own sense of agency and confidence, not your need to rely on something or someone else outside yourself. True support is given in a way that makes space for fear, insecurities, and doubts, whether rational or not. We gather as a community, supporting one another in a way that is authentic, a way that helps us discover our own sense of and power. And now let us light our chalice together."
In the embrace of community, we find courage to face any storm. And now, if you are able, would you please stand and sing our opening hymn number 241 in your soft book, In the Bleak Midwinter.
Anybody want to come up for the story? Okay. Today's story is a grumpy monkey story called Oh No, It's Christmas. It was a grisly, drizzly December day. Whoops, and I just broke the mic. Okay. Just as it had been all week, Chimpanzee was not in the mood to celebrate. Can it be nice for one stinking day, Jim said, and sighed out into the wet in search of breakfast. But when he finally found a banana, it was green. Figures, Jim said as he tossed the banana beside. Are you going to eat this? Asked his neighbor Norman. No, said Jim, it's not ripe. It'll ripen in your stomach, said Norman. You didn't even peel it, Jim said. The peel's where all the vitamins are, said Norman. I don't think that's true, said Water Buffalo from beneath a tree. Who cares if it's true, said Oxpecker. It's almost Christmas, and everyone loves green bananas, and there is so much more Christmassy than yellow ones. Because green is a Christmas color, I'm so excited for Christmas. The weather stink, the bananas stink. What's there to celebrate when everything stinks, snapped Jim. Nothing to celebrate. Oxpecker couldn't believe it. But it's such a magical time of year. There are presents and visiting relatives and decorations. Oh, no, not decorations, said Water Buffalo. Of course decorations, chirped Oxpecker as she wrapped some berries around Water Buffalo's horns. See right there. Decorations help spread Christmas cheer. See, Jim, don't you feel like celebrating now? No, said Jim, and he stomped away. Jim was so busy stomping, he didn't notice Marabou. Why are you stomping around, Jim? Asked Marabou. You should celebrate. It's such a magical time of year. Celebrate? Me? I don't feel like celebrating. Maybe a song will help. Fa-la-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la. Ugh. Jim held his ears and stomped on. Right into a puddle of mud. Whoops, right here. Hooray, Jim, you're just in time to enjoy some of our holiday treats, croaked the frogs. Nothing makes you want to celebrate like a little fly pot pie, am I right? Asked Bullfrog. Celebrate? Me? I don't feel like celebrating, said Jim. Did I skip a page? Oop. Yes, I did. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this magical time of year. You should wrap presents and put them under a tree. You should make a card for your mom. And don't forget your dad. You should take a long winter nap. You should light 7 candles or 9 candles. You should quietly reflect, said the snake. You should do something nice for someone else, or you could eat sugar plums. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. Why aren't you celebrating, Jim? Asked the others. It's such a magical time of year. Everything stinks, said Jim. And he stomped off. But he couldn't ignore the rumbling in his tummy. Maybe Norman's right. Maybe the banana will ripen in my stomach. He peeled a green banana and ate it. Ow. Oh, Norman wasn't right. He had a stomachache. Norman wasn't right about what? Asked Norman. About the banana, said Jim. Now my stomach hurts, and I still have a headache, and I'm muddy, and I'm wet, and come to think of it, I'm cold, too. Not to mention this fly won't leave me alone. How can anyone celebrate when everything stinks? Sounds like you could use some tea, said Norman. Tea? I don't like tea. Have you ever tried it? Asked Norman. No, said Jim. Maybe give it a try, suggested Norman. Jim took a sip of tea. It warmed him all the way down to his tummy. In fact, it started to make his tummy feel much, much better. It's made with mint leaves that grow right here in the forest. Pretty nice, eh? Said Norman. I never noticed a mint leaf, said Jim. They do a good job of blending in, Norman explained. Can I get that for you? Said Chameleon. Thanks, said Jim. I guess there are a lot of things I haven't noticed. It can be hard to notice a lot of complaints, said Norman. Jim looked around. He noticed how pretty the raindrops looked on the leaves, and that the holiday tree made a pretty good umbrella, and that he was surrounded by loved ones. Taking time to notice the good things can to make your problems seem much smaller, said Norma. Jim agreed.
At this point in our service, we will share our joys and sorrows, our joys to magnify them, and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you are so moved, please feel free to come forward and drop a pebble in the bowl and express a joy or sorrow that you may have. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it in the chat.
Hi, I'm Paul Teal.
Well, I have two things. The first, I'm not sure if it's a joy or sorrow, but I'm having my hip replaced, this one, on Thursday. Hopefully I'm walking better after that. That will make me 4 joints that have been replaced. The other one is we have set up a caring table where you can write cards for people. We've got all the birthday cards for this month, as well as anything we hear from here at Joys and Sorrow. So please come and sign the cards. Thank you.
My name is Diane Kearns. Today was my mother-in-law's birthday, the 8th. Yesterday was my daughter's birthday, the 7th. Tomorrow is my son's birthday, the 9th. After that, I can think about Christmas, but not till then.
So my joy is that today is Ellen's 4th birthday. And this is the first birthday we've celebrated in a long time with a healthy child, so this is for Ellen.
Real quick, from the live stream today, Tanya Romaine wishes happy birthday to Jimmy, and Janet Kaplan wishes continued love for Naomi Braff. Oh, Naomi does not want visitors, but a note or card might be nice. Thank you.
I also have a couple of joys. So I celebrated my birthday, my mom's birthday, and my cousin's wedding in the month of November, and that's why I haven't been here. But it was lots of joy and celebration of life and love. So that's one. And then the second, Joan and I have been working on an anti-racism class, which has been incredibly productive, and we're just very happy to be spreading this information. I will drop one final pebble for all those joys and sorrows still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. Let us keep one another in our thoughts for the coming week. A reading by Deng Ming Dao. When you water your plants, you sometimes have to feed them. Manure is an excellent way to feed plants. Isn't that funny? Something that is so repellent when stuck to your shoe is so important to sustaining life. In the fields, everything is saved. Night soil helps things grow. We grow vegetables, eat vegetables, excrete vegetables, and give the waste back to the soil so that vegetables can grow again. Truly, it is said, everything is borrowed. The same is true of misfortune, failures, and disappointments of life. If we understand the importance of manure, we understand that nothing is truly wasted. Everything can be useful if correctly applied. Therefore, even the bad things in life may become fertilizer that will help us grow and become strong.
Sing a chorus, sing we now this festive day. Come, ye merry lads and lasses, joys may your singing be. Joy is all in celebration, sing we now this festive day. La 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 la, la 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 la. Join us all in celebration, sing we now this festive day. La 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 la. La 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 la. Join us all in celebration, sing we now this festive day. As we gather here together with a song of glee and mirth, sing we now with friends with pleasure, singing songs of peace on earth. La 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 la. La 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 la. Join us all in celebration, sing we now this festive day. La 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 la. La 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 la. Join us all in celebration, sing we now this festive day. Sing we now this festive day. La 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 la.
Thank you. Next week, the choir will be leading the service, so it'll be a special service of seasonal music. You don't want to miss that. Life coach and author Jay Fields writes, hard reality, you screw up. Comforting reality, everybody screws up. And I could propose a corollary to that coming from the opposite direction, something you've heard before. Hard reality, bad things happen to good people. Comforting reality, you're not alone. Bad things happen to all people. Yet you don't need to be alone when they do happen. The question is, what do you do? How do you respond when you screw up, or when bad things happen, or when you get manure on your shoe? How do you respond? Do you beat yourself up mercilessly, saying to yourself that you deserve it? Or that that's what you do? Just mess up. That's something I do. Or do you say that you're not worthy of having good things happen to you? Or maybe you live in denial about what's happening, or you blame someone else for everything. How's that work for you? What does that do to you? I remember hearing a story at SUSI, which is the UU summer camp that's held every year. I don't know who told it, but one of the speakers told this story about a man who was looking to go find a new city. And he comes to this new city. It's a walled city, and there's a gate, and sitting at the gate is this old man. And the traveler says, I'm looking for a new city. Is this a good city? What's it like? And the old man asks, well, what was the last city you were in like? And the traveler says, it was a good city. The people were nice. They gave you a fair shake. I felt there was a sense of justice there. They treated you well. Yeah, it was a good city. And the old man says, the city's just like that. Then later on, a second traveler comes, also looking for a new city. Gets to the gates, and there's the old man. And the second traveler says, hey, I'm looking for a new city. What's this city like? And the old man again asks, well, what was the last city you lived in like? And the second traveler says, it was a bad city. The people there were mean. They'd cheat you. You couldn't trust them. It was a bad city. And the old man says, this city's just like that. So you might be perplexed by this story. How could the city be both good and bad? But this story isn't about the city. The city is amoral in this case. It's not good or bad. It's just the backdrop. This story is about the two travelers and their responses, their orientation, their disposition when faced with whatever the city gives them. I would suspect that the first traveler responses are oriented to goodness and trust and expecting the best out of people. Whereas I would suspect that the second traveler's orientation is more towards mistrust, expecting bad things, expecting to be cheated. And in both instances, maybe most of the time, they get what they expect. It sounds weird, but we know this happens all the time. Two different people faced with the same situation have completely different responses. Two people go to a church. After the church, what happens? I love that church. The other person says, I hated that church. The people were friendly. They were not friendly, but it's the same church. So as bizarre as this story kind of sounds, it happens all the time. In the embrace of community, we find the courage to face any storm. In the embrace of community, we find the courage to face any storm. That is our chalice lighting today that was selected by our worship associate, Valeria. Thank you. It fit perfectly with today's service. The embrace of community doesn't take you out of the storm. It doesn't calm the storm. It doesn't make the skies sunny for you. Nope. It doesn't do any of those things, but the embrace of community helps you find the courage to face those storms, to center you, to give you a safe place from which to act. from our call to worship this morning. The thing to remember with support is that true support always brings you back to your own sense of agency and confidence, not your need to rely on something or someone else. True support is given in a way that makes space for your fears, insecurities, and doubts, whether they're rational or not. Again, true support doesn't calm your stormy skies, bring you sunny skies. It acknowledges the fear, insecurities, and doubts. It can hold you up and center you so that you can act upon the storms that you're facing. I'm reminded of a scene from a great little TV show about 20 years ago called Joan of Arcadia, where Joan was this average teenager who had this special relationship with God. She would see, God would appear to her in the form of a normal everyday person that she would encounter in normal life, like the person, a checkout person at the QT, or the convenience store, or a person sitting next to her on a bus, or a librarian. They would appear to her regularly. My favorite God character that appeared to Joan was called Goth Kid God. It was a teenager dressed in black leather, body piercings, black lipstick, spiked hair. And one day, this character, Goth God, comes to Joan and asks her to do something, and Joan thinks it's really scary. Part of the show is that these God characters would ask Joan to do things, and part of the theme was that it wasn't Joan's role to know why, okay? So this particular character asked Joan to do this really scary thing, and Joan kind of pushes back. This is scary. I'm afraid. And the God character looks at her and says nothing. And then Joan says, this is the time when you reassure me and say it's all going to be okay, and it's all going to be good, and you're going to help me? And the God character looks at her and just says, Joan, it is scary. That's not the response that she was looking for. Not quite the answer, but he acknowledged that it's normal for her to be anxious and scared. That's normal. But the support can't make the scariness disappear. Part of our mission here at UUMAN is to strive for justice and transform the world. Yet also, part of our mission is to nurture the spirit. And I was at another SUSI UU summer camp years ago, and a speaker was talking about this nurturing of the spirit. And she was adamant. She said, nurturing the spirit is not a solo act. It is not a solo act. It is something that we do in community. It is something that we do together. It depends upon relationship. A big part of my job here at UUMAN, and a big part of Lexi's job, and a big part of Alex's job, and a big part of your job, anytime you show up here at UUMAN or engage in shared ministry, what we call shared ministry at UUMAN, a big part of all of our jobs is creating a community that nurtures the spirit, creating courageous resilience. A resilience as a centered community, and resilience for us to center us as individuals amongst and supported by this community. When faced with life storms, or when you screw up or get manure on your shoe, I wonder if the people who generally respond in unhealthy ways, blaming others, denying, blaming themselves, excessively beating themselves up. I wonder if the people who respond those ways are people who are isolated or perhaps apathetic towards, or maybe don't feel the need to have a supporting community. Psychologist Rollo May says, a chief characteristic of the courage to face our problems is that it requires a centeredness within our own being, which we would feel ourselves to otherwise be in a vacuum. The emptiness within corresponds to an apathy without, an apathy that adds up in the long run to cowardice. That is why we must always base our commitment in the center of our own being, or else no commitment that we take will be authentic. I'm not saying this is always the case, and I could be wrong. But possibly for those who respond to life storms in unhealthy ways, that emptiness within is that lack of centeredness within is a result of an apathy without, an apathy towards being in relationship with a sustaining community, being active in church, as an example, or other organizations. When faced with life's challenges, I do believe that a nurturing community like this one is essential to center us as individuals and enable us to respond authentically and in healthy ways. Recently, most of us have been challenged by the loss in a recent, election, maybe? Imagine trying to face that kind of loss, because we feel strongly, but imagine trying to face that kind of loss in isolation, alone, just ruminating in your mind what could possibly happen in this scary situation. Here's something I love about this congregation. After that dreadful loss, what did we do? We had a party. And it wasn't a party of denial. The party was planned before the election, and we knew full well that the election might not go our way. Yet when it didn't go our way, did we think of canceling the party? Hell no. We did not. And I'll speak for me, but at the party, I felt a sense of ease that afternoon in Discovery and Fellowship Hall. A semblance of support that I'm not alone in this. That I'm centered in a healing, loving community. And that I can be strong in such a place as this. And that we can begin to reckon with the results of that election, which is scary. It's scary. So contrary to what you might think, having your own back, which is the title of this sermon, isn't done in isolation. It's not a solo act. Having your own back is the result of being here, being in relationship with a healthy community or congregation like this one.
effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, treasures, and talents. With this, we will now take the offering. You may also use the Give Now option in the Breeze app. This month's 50/50 recipient is the North Fulton Community Charities. Any checks specifically designated as 50/50 or any Breeze donations specifying Give to 50/50 this month will go to support their work.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. We accept the sacred offering generously given by our beloved members and friends. May we use it wisely and judiciously in service to our mission.
And to number 1018, Come and Go With Me.
Come and go
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I guess there's no choral thing there. Okay. I messed up. I didn't read the order of service. I screwed up. Sorry. In the embrace of community, we find the courage to face any storm. With that, go in peace and enjoy your week.